damages in his own defamation suit. Legal experts are calling this a desperate ploy on Biden's part. Joining me right now with all the hot topics all morning long is Michael Lee strategy founder Michael Lee and FreedomWorks economist and former Trump economic advisor Steve Moore. Great to see you guys this morning. Thank you so much for being here. Mike, this feels like one last desperate effort right before lawmakers and the House Oversight Committee get into it and start zeroing in on all the evidence of influence peddling they have. Your thoughts?
Maria, it's just unbelievable how stupid the mainstream media and Hunter Biden's lawyers think you are. They have never, ever, at any point, denied the authenticity of this laptop. There's several instances, dozens, of direct foreign influence peddling, in addition to other securities violations and some horrific sex crimes on that laptop. Remember when Rudy Giuliani reviewed it with a sex crimes prosecutor in New York City, they drove it directly to Delaware the next day with Bernie Carrick to deliver it to the Attorney General of the state of Delaware. Well, they gave it directly to the FBI, who had already had it for over a year. This is an unbelievable cover-up of epic proportions. Never have we seen such detailed influence peddling from a public official and nothing being done about it. So it's just disgusting to hear these kind of try to parse, well, maybe it's ours, maybe it's not, we're not admitting it. This is a joke. And the fact that the media wants to talk about George Santos and not the most horrific documented instance of foreign influence peddling we've ever seen in this country. I should say it blows my mind, but I guess it's become par for the course.
Well, then, Michael Lee.
Yeah, Angelo, it seems like these stocks just really want to go higher. All three of these major names disappointed last night, and pre-market, they are down less than they were up yesterday, where you just go back a day ago, Facebook outperformed and their stock was up 24% in a single day. So it seems like the risk in tech right now is not asymmetrical. And there's just a feeling to me that people want to buy these stocks, and everything that didn't work in 2022 is working really well in 2023. How much longer do you think something like this is going to continue?
Yeah, so listen, I think the setup for 2023 looks pretty favorable for big tech, kind of to maybe some of the reasons you alluded to. They've gotten absolutely hit. They got destroyed last year. Valuations got completely hit. Meta probably more so than anybody out there, and that's why you've seen kind of the gains on their side of things. I think kind of going into some of the numbers last night, you kind of got a little bit too hot in terms of some of these names. They really kind of ran into it. Look at a name like Alphabet up 7% or so yesterday on top of Meta's numbers. It was inevitable that they were going to disappoint. Now, at the end of the day, I mean, these aren't names that we think are going to go straight up to the right. It's going to be kind of a bumpy road out here. But we do think kind of when you look at the damage that was done last year, when you think at what the opportunities are ahead, specifically on the AI side of things, which actually with the ChatGPT news by Microsoft, I think opens up a lot of eyes out there for investors as we kind of look here. I mean, it's really more of a near-term opportunity outside of some of those hot terms that we've seen in the past.
Cortez and Rashida Tlaib exploding over the House's decision to remove Ilhan Omar from the Foreign Affairs Committee because of anti-Semitic remarks she made. The House voting to remove the Congresswoman Omar over her history of anti-Semitic and anti-American remarks. Steve, we've heard these remarks many times from Ilhan Omar. Your reaction?
Yeah, I mean, I think they should be.
Mike, how do you see it?
Look, the Democrats opened up a can of worms when they did this to Marjorie Taylor Greene. Right. And if they, they were warned, and they also Paul Gosar, they were warned, and now it's coming back to them. And of course, they kick and scream. But Rashida Tlaib is crazy, and anybody who wants further verification, just Google Rashida Tlaib getting thrown out of a Trump rally in 2016. She was forcibly removed by the Secret Service for acting insane. It's out there on the YouTube, on the Google. Give it a look just in case you were wondering.
Unbelievable. No comment whatsoever about her actual remarks.
Well, look, it's again, there's no consequences for the left. Maxine Waters can call for violence against Trump administration officials. Nobody says a thing. That's right. If it wasn't for double standards, the left would have no standards at all, right?
Yeah. Oh, God. Well, coming up, the border crisis every week by their peddling and trafficking of drugs. Here's one part of the hearing that we watched yesterday from the House committee with their first border hearing. Watch this.
The Sinaloa and Jalisco cartels pose the greatest criminal drug threat the United States has ever faced. These ruthless, violent criminal organizations have associates, facilitators, and brokers in all 50 states. The cartels are destroying families and communities with callous indifference and greed.
Yeah. Mike, at this point, everybody knows somebody who's died of fentanyl.
Maria, it's a tragic situation where the inside of this country is being rotted out from within. This is not a border crisis. This is a migrant invasion of our country. This is a new Chicago every single year of the Biden administration of people. And by the end, you're going to basically have put an entire New York City into the population of people who did not come here through ports of entry, but came here illegally. This is enriching the cartels to a degree they've never seen before. And if you think about what many of these people have to go through to get into this country, and the fact that we haven't built a wall, we haven't locked this down, makes this administration very much complicit in the sexual abuse and the other horrifying things people need to go through to get here. This is blood on their hands, and they're simply doing it so that they can get cheap labor and new voters, and humanitarian crisis be damned.
Can I just add one quick thing to this, Maria? Really quick.
Yeah, sure. Welcome back. It is time for the Word on Wall Street. Top investors watching your money. Joining me right now is Michael Lee, strategy founder Michael Lee, and former Gartman letter editor and University of Akron Endowment Fund chairman Dennis Gartman. Great to see you, gentlemen. Thanks so much for being here. Mike, kicking things off with you with a market that is lower, although off of the worst levels of the morning. We had disappointing technology earnings last night, and Amazon, Alphabet really are trading down as a result this morning. Alphabet missed on both earnings and revenue. Apple saw the largest quarterly revenue decline since 2016. Amazon reporting its first unprofitable year since 2014. Now, Wednesday, Meta reported a miss on earnings, but it beat on revenue, and it also announced a $40 billion stock buyback program. The stock shot up. It was up 20% on the session yesterday, but the others are faltering. What do you think's going on in tech, Mike?
These names just want to be bought. There is more buyers and sellers, and I'm not sure if it's the $5 trillion in liquidity in money markets that's sitting out there, the fact that these stocks did so horribly last year, or that expectations among the buy side, not necessarily the sell side estimates, were so bad that these earnings are coming in better than feared. But it seems like these technology stocks are going higher, and barring some crazy thing happening with the jobs number later today, you could see some of these names that missed last night up for today. And the risk in technology, at least for the moment, is not asymmetrical. So the misses last night from Apple, Amazon, and Google were nowhere near, were fairly similar to the beat that Facebook had on Wednesdays. But Facebook is up 24% in a single day, and all these other names are down less than they were up yesterday. They're only giving back a portion of the gains from the market yesterday. So we have seen a complete rotation and reversal from 2022 into 2023, where these tech names are just ripping higher. They're widely owned in indices. They're widely held in individual portfolios. You're getting reports. This is retail back to buying the dip. If you're short these technology names, it is very tough to be you. So I suspect that we came into this year with extremely low expectations, extremely bearish sentiment, and I imagine there was a lot of short positioning out there. As those shorts are being covered, as retail investors are putting their toes back in the market, nothing changed sentiment as quickly as price. So a little bit of momentum behind this. A lot of buyers emerged from nowhere, and here we are.
Yeah, am I supposed to believe that a 56% gain is warranted for Meta, or a 22% rally in shares of Apple year to date? I mean, we're talking about 1 month's time, and Meta's up 56%.
Yeah, Maria, for Facebook, it's even more drastic. In November, the stock was $88, and now it's at 190 something. So, or 100.
Yeah, it's at 188.77 this morning.
So these are dramatic moves. I imagined it was too far to the downside, and now we're going to get a little too far to the upside. It's really important to remember the stock market is not the economy is not the stock market, and stocks are rarely, if ever, fairly valued. They're normally overvalued or undervalued, and they're inherently irrational. I'd imagine we're going to get some more strength in the tech in the trading days to come.
Well, Dennis, we're waiting. Are dipping into their 401k plans, their savings, just to pay the bills. A record 2.5% of people tapped into their retirement savings in 2022 to pay off financial emergencies, including medical bills or eviction or foreclosure. Retirement savings dropping 23% since 2021. Michael, we talk about this all the time because you're not supposed to tap into your 401k, but people have become desperate because of the 40-year high inflation.
Maria, we are further entering a society of have and have-nots. In the last year, 285,000 people had their power shut off in just the state of Illinois. You have savings rate at multi-decade lows, credit card debt at all-time highs, and those rates, those interest rates and those credit cards don't seem to be trickling down at all.
Steve, posted on Truth Social to shoot down the balloon. But, Mike, we don't know what's in this balloon, right? Somebody else commented to me, we don't know if we shoot it down what kind of material it will unleash into the air. We have no idea, but it is above that military base. And we know that the surveillance programs are out in force on the United States from the CCP. What does the CCP have on Joe Biden that he is so soft on China? They cancel the China initiative. They ignore hundreds of billions of dollars in intellectual property theft. They ignore the origins of COVID-19. Not one hearing on the origins of COVID-19 under the Democrats and Joe Biden in the last 2 years. Not one.
Maria, I wonder if Mark Milley called China for permission to shoot it down and they didn't give it to him. Or
Probably.
Or if he was too busy with diversity training or something else to help the sensitivity and not using gendered pronouns for sir and madam. You know, I wonder if he was busy with those sorts of things instead of shooting it down. The fact that this got leaked out to the media just shows what an embarrassment it is, this administration for our country. And I'm really happy Anthony Blinken can take time away from his amateur rock band to go address this in China. How fast our country has fallen under this administration, it's shocking. But remember, it was Donald Trump who was going to start a nuclear war. It was Donald Trump who was going to break all the norms. This weakness from this administration towards China and everyone else. Okay, it's just infectious. It's just an infection that's spreading into everything. Everyone's taking advantage of us. And look, I don't know how this is going to get better until we have completely different leadership in Washington.
Well, let's be clear, because it was Donald Trump who actually hosted Xi Jinping at Mar-a-Lago in 2017. It was one of his first foreign leaders that he met with. I believe it was the second one. He had Xi Jinping at Mar-a-Lago, as I wrote in my book with James Freeman, The Cost. This was how we opened the book, that President Trump was at Mar-a-Lago with Xi Jinping. They're having dinner together, and during their dessert, chocolate cake, Donald Trump drops the bomb to Xi Jinping that we just sent 13 strikes to Syria because they are using chemicals on their people. Okay, that was how Donald Trump began his relationship with Xi Jinping. This is what we're doing. This is what just happened. Enjoy your chocolate cake. Okay. Then Joe Biden walks into the Oval Office and goes soft on everything Trump put in place, from the China initiative to the response to COVID-19. The Wall Street Journal is out with a new report today. They're linking TikTok's push to win over Washington with Huawei's unsuccessful strategy. TikTok CEO is set to testify before the House in March. Just this week, TikTok gave journalists a tour of what it's calling its Transparency and Accountability Center. And Steve, what a joke. They're spewing out propaganda and they're surveilling American citizens. And now we find out about this balloon in the sky. What is the Biden administration doing about it? The Democrat Party has taken money from the CCP, because it's just stunning to me that we don't hear anybody in the Democrat Party raising their hand about the threat of China. Okay, look at Adam Schiff. Look at Eric Swalwell sleeping with Fang Fang. This needs to be investigated. We're going to take a quick break. I hear you laughing. Unfortunately, this is not funny. This is not funny at all. We've got...